Welcome again in this course of occlusion in implant dentistry. As we discussed before, it is very important that you understand the fundamentals of occlusion and how it relates to implant dentistry, even if you're just placing implant and even not restoring implant. For dentists who are restoring implant, it is very important to understand the occlusion and its consequences. We looked at some of the consequences in previous videos. And before we understand the fundamentals of occlusion, let's look at the differences between natural teeth and implant. Whereas force is straight goes to the implant when you apply force to the implant very impactfully. Distribution of the force around the tooth is much nicely done, whereas implant you have all the force gathered towards the crest. Whereas with the tooth, the force goes towards the root surface much more evenly. You have tooth mobility, which can be related to the force. Again, that helps in reducing or dissipating the force, whereas implant is rigid and you don't have that kind of tooth mobility. Whereas mainly whatever we use at the moment is most porcelain related for single crown and bridges. Yes, we use acrylics many times for full arch cases, and that is better at absorbing forces, whereas porcelain is much worse. It breaks and it cracks. So I hope this short presentation has helped you in understanding the differences between natural teeth and implant and why it is very important for us to treat an implant and the load we put on implants and the consequences of that. Because if we put the similar overload on teeth and implant, you will see two different consequences. Teeth are much better at tolerating the load, whereas implant is much less likely to tolerate that load easily in a long run.